Alright, YouTube. Got all the parts that I need to clean up sitting right here. Old rotor housing. Engine built by Elliott White at Turbone Engineering about 10 years ago. All of the upper and lower intake manifolds are getting swapped to the Turbone Engineering stuff. Also, same thing with the fuel rails. Going probably electric water pump. Do got to figure out this solution. I am going to do drive-by-wire. I have a Nexus R5 that I'm about to pick up from Elliott. Already did most of the suspension. I've went through all of the springs and blasted them and epoxy coated them. It's all the hardware that goes underneath your tow hooks and so on. Energy suspension. I wish they made them in orange. The car will be orange. Unfortunately, it's going to be red. I don't know if this camera died. Nope, just goes black apparently. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with stock everything initially. I'm going FD brakes, stock suspension. My subframe's already been rebuilt for the front, sandblasted and painted. Steering's been there. Drive shaft has been epoxy coated. Rebuilt the whole rear subframe, and the pumpkins all got new fluid. It's all ready to go. New CV axles, all new mounts. Transmission was just painted. It's been rebuilt. It's ready to go. It's all painted in that metallic pearl, so it matches the engine. But here's the car. Now this is, most of you want to know, hey, what the hell you got going on here? Well, I've had this car since 1998. It's been sitting in my parents' barn in Wisconsin. Pretty rusty. I basically went through and I sanded everything, went through and then Raptor lined this. Kits are super inexpensive. I used it on a trailer before for our safe company. Worked fantastic. So took out all the rust, sanded it. The biggest part that I find that rusts like crazy in these things is this back little spare tire housing, and then the jack housing, which is over here on this side. You can kind of see it in here. That rusts like a son of a bitch. It was freaking terrible in there. But yeah, redid everything, resanded, reprimed. I went through all of it. I'm gonna go single windshield wiper. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you need to have two. Well, I think one gigantic one across it would do just fine. I'm still on a mission for a windshield. But right now we're just going through and getting the subframe put together. Basically handling rust. I do have an issue right here. I'm probably going to cut that out. It's not all the way through, it's just on that surface, but this is what I'm touching on the back is this what you can see here. So all this stuff right here. So I'm probably going to cut this out and replace it. Probably weld in a new piece. All underneath it is perfect. There's no rust or anything underneath it. I am kind of afraid about taking this out yet. Now again, I'm an amateur at all this stuff, so this is just pure desire and passion to get this done. I want to take this off so that I can paint and get it, like, just make sure there's no rust behind it, but I'm afraid that I can't get another one of these. I've tried, what's that place up in Washington? It's a rotary place, I forgot off the top of my head. There's a rotary place up there, Washington State, I believe, or Oregon. They didn't even have it, so kind of afraid of taking that off yet. I did fix the door here. It's all been redone. I'm actually blasting this piece on my blasting cabinet and then rebuilding it, basically the door kick. I do got a dent here that I got a handle. And I've already cut this out because there's a big piece of rust here. I'll actually show you that. It's over here. So this is what it used to look like. It looked like somebody tried to repair it before, but I'm the second owner of this car. There was a guy in Wisconsin, Dells, Wisconsin, owned it. Matei, I think his last name was. But here's my two templates. And then there's a little shims here just in case I need to pop it up. But it looks like this will just fit right back into there. kind of like that. Then I'll just weld it at the bottom and then grind off what I need and kind of shape it to fit that contour, because there's actually a contour. It kind of bends a little bit. You can't really see because of my shitty cuts. Again, I'm an amateur. I'm not a metal worker. Dude, I move safes for a living. I have a big safe company called Atlanta Safe House. Actually, I have a partner in it, but anyway, so yeah, that's the next project. But immediate project right now is to take these hubs, get these hubs done. I blasted them already. Get them straightened out as best I can, cleaned up, and then painted. There's like the dust covers and then the back side of the mounts. Put a rag in there so I didn't get a bunch of freaking aluminum oxide in there. Paint those, get all the suspension bolts, get the subframe put in so that I can basically get this into a rolling chassis. Once I have the rear subframe in and pumpkin and drive axles in, suspension in, obviously move to the front. We'll shoot the front of this in some paint that we're getting from some guy out of Arizona. I think it's called Paint Huffer. Pretty funny name. We'll sand this and make it nice and smooth. Take out any clips that were the factory clips that they have for like brake lines and stuff. And then paint this orange. And then put the rest of the subframe in. Front subframe, front suspension in. Put the new, well, not new, but remanned steering rack and pinion that I'm going to do next after I get the subframe in. We are doing brake boost delete. It is chase bays that we're using for that. And then obviously, you know, it's a ton of freaking body work, to be honest with you. Yeah, freaking engine's awesome though. It looks beautiful. Obviously, I'm not going to have this upper and lower intake manifold, but I mean that really came out nice. I do want to get this Mazda in orange to match. I played with it a little bit, but I'm not too good at that kind of stuff. I just know how to turn wrenches. So I did do FD brakes. It's just, I mean, I can't go on forums and pay attention to this stuff because I try to read and everybody has like 50,000 opinions. It doesn't really help me. If one person says you can use FD brakes on an FC, some people say you can't. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, I'll figure it out. Either go Brempo or Willwood, or I'll find some you know, some brake company that'll produce a brake for me that'll be able to put on there. But yeah, so you can kind of see what I'm into. This is my first video. I've never done this shit before. I'm not really a social media type. I just people on Reddit say to make a video, so I'm making a video. Here's the old fuel pump from when this thing was an NA. Well, this came out of an NA. The tank that I have is an NA. I mean, that shit has been sitting in the tank for 20,000 years. Yeah, it looks like shit. I'm never going to use this. The only reason why I have this is for the housing as a template, because I'm actually going to make the housing. I don't even know if we're going to even go that route, to be honest with you. We may make it. I just have an option. Earplugs, man, if you're going to paint, earplugs are fantastic. You poke them in any holes. Works fantastic. This actually works. So this is the antenna that goes in there. It functions perfectly, so I'm going to keep that. But yep, at least you guys got an idea of what I'm kind of doing. Again, all factory, pretty much everything is stock, or you know, stock parts that I'm going to put back into it. I want to get the car painted and ready, and then I'm going to go back and take out the suspension, put coilovers, change a few things here and there to make it work. But this is my first video. I hope it's good enough for who it's for. Anyways, I do like this EFR 8374. Man, that turbo is sick. I've seen a lot of folks do it. Elliot at Turbo Source, you know, this is design. I mean, it's perfect. It's it might be a little bit of a challenge with these dump pipes getting the motor mounts in, but it shouldn't be too bad. Elliot did all this. This is his kit from Turblone. Again, I'm waiting for that upper and lower intake manifold. Once I get that, I ordered the LT, I think it's LT1 87mm throttle body, electric throttle body. It's obviously going to go about right here, and then I need the adapter plate. I might make it myself. I'm in between on it. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I did have originally the Adaptronic M1200 because I wasn't going to go crazy on this car, but since I'm putting all this money into it already, I might as well go crazy. I'm going to end up selling this. I've never actually used it. It's never been plugged in. The thumb drive's in there. It's pretty cool. The idea was to go with the Adaptronic, but now I have a brand new Adaptronic that it's gonna have to sell it. I did go out and buy a decent fuel filter. Wait, get that out of the way. I did buy this Injector Dynamics fuel filter, so pretty excited about getting that mounted and getting it in there. I have an old alternator, an old starter. They were new, but the car sat for eternity, so I gotta solve that problem. I don't know if I need to go bigger alternator. Most likely I do. Maybe FD, maybe a J-spec one, who knows. The starter, it needs to be cleaned up. I may clean it up. I may just buy another one. They're so inexpensive. They're 150 bucks, 200 bucks max. I do have the oil pedestal that got paint on it somehow, probably because I'm a dumbass. But yeah, that obviously mounts here. Here's my door hinges, all epoxy coated. This stuff's pretty awesome. Regardless of what anybody says, that VHT epoxy paint, which I should have some over here. Again, sorry for the mess. This stuff works actually pretty freaking good. I've actually dropped the front subframe a few times, and there's not a nick on it from where I dropped it. I've dropped wrenches on it, but this stuff is pretty damn good. Well, I guess if you have any questions, I guess leave in the comments or catch me on Reddit. But yeah, I got a huge mess to get started. That video should be about 15 minutes or so. Well, pretty close. I do got more parts that I probably never even need. Stock, a lot of stock parts in here. I think that's a fuel pump right there, matter of fact. Yep, that's one of the fuel pumps that I'm going to end up using. I am going to follow in the footsteps of Rob Dahm. I am actually going to make my own wiring harness from scratch using Pro Wire USA, same as him, using that Tefzel wire and tying it all myself. What's sad about this is that John Deere is actually faster than my car right now, and that thing's slower than shit. But yeah, this is what it looks like, man. Took the top out. Trying to stay on task here. This is such a mess. I have no idea what we're gonna do. I do have the original Turbo 2 dash, and oddly enough I actually have the shroud that goes in the front that's always breaks. I got those. I still actually have the triangle pieces that typically sit up here. I still have them in stock or in storage. They're brittle. I treat them like they're eggs because they're literally more brittle than an egg. But yeah, this is the car. Well, I guess until next time, I'm gonna get back to doing work instead of screwing around with this damn camera. But yeah, oh yeah, one last thing. I am doing FC2000 front end. Still haven't figured out the headlights, but I'll figure that shit out soon enough. All right, well, you guys have a good one. See you guys.